You sit down to relax. You've earned it. You've finished everything on the list. You've worked hard all week. You finally have 2 hours to do absolutely nothing. You put on a movie, you sink into the couch, you tell yourself, just relax. And 30 seconds later, your brain lights up. Did you respond to that email? Should you meal prep tomorrow? What did that person mean when they said that thing 3 years ago? Actually, if you rearrange the closet this weekend, you could optimize storage by 20%. You're not watching the movie. You're mentally rewriting your schedule, running projections, solving hypothetical problems that don't exist yet. And the worst part, you can't stop. Because for you, doing nothing doesn't feel like rest. It feels like negligence, like you're choosing to let the system collapse while you sit there eating popcorn. It's like your brain is running a background app that drains your battery even when the screen is off. And no matter how many times you try to close it, it just keeps opening. Here's the thing. This isn't anxiety. It's not workaholism. It's not a character flaw you need to fix. This is a psychological trait called high agency, driven by what researchers call an internal locus of control. And once you understand how your brain is wired, the guilt finally makes sense. Internal locus of control. Let's start with what that actually means. An internal locus of control means you genuinely believe you influence the outcome of most situations. You look at your life and think, my decisions matter. My effort creates results. Input equals output. This is different from people with an external locus of control, who attribute outcomes to luck, fate, timing, or other people. They think things happen to me. You think things happen because of me. And on paper, that sounds great. That sounds like confidence. That sounds like the foundation of success and self-determination. And it is. Until you try to relax. Because here's the trap. If you genuinely believe you control the outcome, your brain also believes that inaction is a choice. If something can be fixed and you have the ability to fix it, then sitting on the couch is a voluntary decision to let that thing stay broken. Your brain is running a cost-benefit analysis in real time, and the conclusion it keeps reaching is, we could be optimizing right now. Why are we sitting here? It's not that you're incapable of rest, it's that your nervous system has categorized rest as risk. Because if you're not actively managing variables, controlling outcomes, or preventing future problems, who is? The answer your brain gives is no one, and not feels dangerous. So you sit there, physically still, mentally sprinting, trying to relax but feeling like a negligent manager who left the building unlocked during a storm. Now, let's add another layer, because it's not just about controlling outcomes, it's about controlling time. There's a concept called temporal agency, the need to feel like you are ahead of the day rather than behind it. For people with high agency, time is not neutral. It's either working for you or against you. And here's what happens when you try to relax. You feel like you're falling behind, like the clock is still running but you've stopped moving, and your brain registers that gap as a threat. You are supposed to be preparing, planning, getting ahead of tomorrow so tomorrow doesn't ambush you. Sitting still feels like you're letting future you down. This connects to something deeper. If you grew up in an environment where you had to be the responsible one, the planner, the fixer, the emotional stabilizer, your brain learned a very specific role, the general. Generals don't take naps during uncertain times. Generals scan for threats. They anticipate problems. They run through variables and contingencies to create safety for everyone under their command. And you've been the general of your own life and probably other people's lives for a very long time. The problem is, generals are exhausted, but they can't admit it, because if they stop scanning, if they stop planning, if they let their guard down for even a moment, who's protecting the perimeter? So you stay on. You keep running scenarios. You optimize, plan, and mentally prepare. Not because you're paranoid, but because your brain has been trained to believe that your vigilance is the only thing keeping everything from falling apart. And that's not ego. That's hyper-responsibility. That's a nervous system that learned very early, if I don't handle it, no one will. So how do you actually rest when your brain is wired like this? Here's what doesn't work. Passive relaxation. Meditation ops tell you to clear your mind. Wellness influencers tell you to just be present. Your well-meaning friends tell you to take a nap. And your brain hears that as stop doing your job. Let everything you're responsible for fend for itself. Trust that it'll be fine. Which feels terrifying, so you don't do it, and then you feel guilty for not being able to relax like a normal person. But here's the thing. You're not wired for passive rest. You're wired for active recovery. Active recovery is rest that lets your hands stay busy while your nervous system resets. It's low-stakes activity that gives your brain a sense of agency without demanding high output. Here's what that looks like in practice. Cooking a simple meal. Not a complicated recipe, just something tactile and rhythmic that keeps your hands occupied and produces a tangible result. Organizing a drawer, folding laundry, watering plants, rearranging a bookshelf. Going for a walk with no destination. Not a purposeful power walk, just movement that lets your brain wander while your body does something low pressure. Here's why this works. Your agency brain doesn't fully turn off, but it can shift into a lower gear if it feels like you're still creating order or control in some small domain. When you organize a drawer, you're not saving the world, but you are imposing structure on chaos. You are making a decision, executing it, and seeing an immediate result. That satisfies the part of your brain that needs to feel productive. And once that part is satisfied, once it believes you're still doing something, the rest of your nervous system can finally exhale. You're not tricking your brain, you're respecting how it works. Here's what I need you to hear. You don't need to care less. You don't need to become a person who can sit still and stare at a wall for an hour. You don't need to rewire your entire personality. You just need to respect your wiring. You are not a regular car that can idle and park. You are a high-performance machine. And high-performance machines don't rest by shutting down completely. They rest through strategic maintenance. They don't park and turn off. They pit stop. They refuel. They recalibrate. They keep the engine warm. That's what active rest is. It's not laziness dressed up as productivity. It's giving your brain the kind of recovery it's actually capable of accepting. Because here's the truth. The world genuinely benefits from people like you, people who take responsibility, who see a problem and think, I can influence this, who don't wait for someone else to fix it. But you can't run at 100% forever. And the reason you burn out isn't because you care too much. It's because you've been treating rest like a luxury instead of a maintenance requirement. You are allowed to recharge. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to do something low stakes and simple without feeling like you're abandoning your post. The system will not collapse if you fold laundry for 20 minutes instead of refreshing your email. And if your brain is still screaming at you that this is irresponsible, that's not wisdom. That's just the general refusing to admit they're tired. You've been on duty long enough. Take the pit stop. If your brain never fully turns off, if you can't just relax no matter how hard you try, hit that subscribe button because we're here every week explaining exactly why your brain does the things it does. The psychology is more connected than you think. I'll see you in the next one.